Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
And welcome to the S4 Bunker tonight on January 4th of 2023.
What's up, homies?
Wow, it's our
Hi.
year.
Hi.
So we are going to have
Morning.
Howdy.
tonight is the Fey.
Fey.
The Fey.
I like me some brownies.
It's a new year, introduce that.
Well,
Can it
will
what?
be Nikki, our psychic, our Keith Andrews, our helium specialist, and Harmony, our wildcraft. Yeah, well,
No.
and Rick, our question. You ready for the question, Rick?
Yeah, Rick.
Rick?
Hello? Yeah,
Hi, Rick.
I'm not hearing anything. Hello. Yeah, I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing Eric. So, yeah, I'm here. Yes, and everything is wonderful
I can
here.
hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear everybody except Eric. So
Good.
Yep.
How
Same.
about now?
Eric, speak.
Speaking.
Speak some more.
Oh, give me 1 second.
Oh, fail. Hard
All
fail.
right. Hello.
somebody put Eric in a fish tank. So that's not good.
All right. Well, in that case, Mr. Rick, do you have a question for tonight about the Fey?
Well, I was Faye. I was going to ask about the fairies if we could actually get the one from Anacortes to Lopez Island to actually run occasionally, but but as far as the actual fairy, the Fae, go, I was wondering exactly now. Are they capable of assuming, and forgive me, I'm not the biggest, I think Tinkerbell was in love with Peter Pan a little bit. She got jealous. It's been a while since I've watched the movie, but are fairies capable of interacting? Can they form as a human, at least, and could fall into a romantic relationship?
Yes.
An incubus or succubus?
Absolutely. Tinkerbell can sleep with Peter Pan. Not that she wants to, but it can happen.
She just wants to play hide and
It's unlikely and it's rare. I'll say that.
That would tear her apart.
Huh?
That would tear her apart.
Dude, she can assume human form. All fairies can assume human form.
Oh, that's right. They all look like Julia Roberts when they do it.
Yeah.
Keith, you want to take that one?
I've seen a lot of things take human form, and quite frankly, from the fairies I've run into, That ain't one of them.
Yeah,
Although,
I was
which
thinking the
classes are the
same
ones
thing.
that actually change? Huh?
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
So
I mean, there are
there
critters that can.
there
But the
are
ones that can, you don't want to join with.
there are fairy races that have human appearance. But
Human appearance, but not human stature.
right.
Well,
Well, okay, I'll give you that, but if you're only 3 inches tall, you're not having a relationship with a guy, with a
well,
human.
that was my question: is could they go full size? Could they manifest themselves into being human form?
Some of them can, but those are not the ones that you want to have sexual relationships with.
No,
Those are fairies.
Well, I never wanted to have sexual relations with Julia Roberts to begin with, so that sort of takes that off the table.
Yeah,
Good.
that's true. That's true.
Welcome, Joe. We've got Joe in tonight now.
No, but I mean, so there are, as far as I know, there are certain fairies, or certain of the Fey realm, excuse me, that could take
Fey can take form. Dryads
form.
are normal.
They can take form, but like I said, those are not ones that you would want to have relations with.
Right.
I really hope it's not a gremlin.
Those people, well,
No.
those
Gremlins
fairies,
won't take human form.
those fairies would end you. Okay? I mean, it would be a bad relationship.
What would the offspring be like? You know, like the Anunnaki and the humans made in
Well,
a different
first of all,
race.
Okay, well, but the Anunnaki were not Fey.
Right. I'm just saying, like, for an example, like if they created like the sub race when two races merged, what would happen? What would the
That's when a troll happens.
Say it again, Keith.
The Anunnaki are a little off kilter for trying to have a relationship with anything other than Anunnaki.
You could have a feathery baby.
You could have a witch?
You could have a feathery baby. It'd be awkward and have lots of issues, but it could happen.
A feathery baby.
And the sun can implode and rebuild itself as well.
Absolutely.
Well, okay. Well, am I mistaken? In the Anunnaki, aren't the angels that they assume human form and do have relationships?
Anunnaki. Okay. The Anunnaki are they are an alien race, is what they are. And they are definitely not a race of alien that you would want to have relations with. Okay? They would, again, rip you apart. It would be terrible. And your offspring would be awkward.
30 feet tall. It might be a bad relationship.
In that way.
Potentially. Unless you're into those taller men, you know.
Again, what are the angels that have had relationships with women and for? It's not Anunnaki. I know it's not Anunnaki, but it's
okay. Well, the Nephilim do.
Nephilim. There you go.
Yeah.
Looking for right there. So, all right, thank you.
The Angelics were the ones that were the primary ones who would come down, conceal their wings, and appear human, male or female, depending on which ones you were dealing with.
The Anunnaki are watchers. They're not angelic beings, but they're beings that we definitely could not. Well, I mean, like, we technically could mate with them, but that would be like a how do I put this? It would be like
Yeah, I've got it.
It'd be like a Chihuahua and a Mastiff. Okay.
Nobody needs it.
I'm just saying.
Even close. A human only comes up. The human only reaches to about the kneecap of an Anunnaki.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I just see the parallel, you know, with the angels mating with humans and then creating the Nephilim, and then the Anunnaki having this interbreeding with humans or with the Neanderthal and creating in the human race. So
can't do it that way.
And they created the giants. The Nephilim were the giants, right? So when like one interdimensional being mates with another, it creates some subrace. Is the story in many different cultures.
Yeah.
Well, we have a couple of hiccups in that. Number one, the Anunnaki were too big to mate with anything on Earth, except the Anunnaki. I mean, yeah,
that's why they
used
genetic changing, right? That's why they changed and spliced their own DNA into the genes using science instead of physical mating.
Absolutely. I don't know about an elephant, but like triceratops.
Okay, I just got to get on. Some of this it does get a little deeper in the weeds, and so I knew there were angels that had come to Earth
right.
and had relations, and so the Anunnaki. I listened to a lot of George Norrie back and I'm just I'm trying to remember what it was all about. So I thank you for the information. I was completely baffled on that part of it. So.
Check out
next question.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, buddy. All right, I want to know from the panel what your favorite Fey being is.
Ooh, that's a great question. I would say my favorite Fey being are water Fey, like sprites and the Undines, and they're just like so jolly and such like happy kind of Fey. They're very protective, and they like when you're working with energetics and cleansing old patterns, they're really good at like helping wash away old non-resonant things that no longer serve us. And then they're also, very cleansing to the energy field. And when you work with them and you gift them certain energies or certain offerings, they really show up when you need them. Like I have children who play around the water a lot, so I leave offerings, and they really protect my children when they're around the water, and me as well. So I definitely love water.
Like sprites. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So would the Lady of the Lake be considered a water sprite?
That would be considered a fictitious being.
A watery tart chucking a sword at King Arthur to make him king. That's pretty magical.
More likely a Nixie.
I gotta say, no.
What I said was most likely, if you were to pin somebody down, pin her down with the rays, you'd be looking at a Nixie.
A Nixie?
Can you give us an example of what a Nixie is?
Pixie with an N. Do the same thing the pixies do, except they do it in the water or right above it.
See, that first description didn't help, Keith, because all I thought of was a little pixie holding up a big N.
Basically, Nixies and pixies are very closely related, but the pixies tend to stick to the woodlands. The Nixies run and turn to the water lines.
So basically, a Nixie is a water pixie.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah. So what's the difference between a Nixie and a sprite?
Number one, a sprite won't kill you if she gets ticked off. She'll just annoy you. The
Gotcha.
temperament, Nixies are a lot more volatile. Other than that, and instead of, basically the biggest difference really is their size and temperament. Because your pixies are only literally 3 to 4 inches tall. Whereas your Nixies will reach the 5-foot mark without even blinking, and they don't have wings. As far as the issue with the sword goes, who knows where she got that one? Because on the whole, they don't use them.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, they will turn the water against you, but they don't, and they are much more attached to the water, to the actual elements than anything else.
Right.
You know, they're the ones responsible if you ever end up with a whirlpool that comes out of nowhere. More often than not, that's a Nixie that's just gotten right annoyed with somebody. And they're not worried about collateral damage.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite is ones that came to protect me. 2019, witnessed by a few people, and they literally, I don't know how else to say this, but they literally sprinkled me with fairy dust. And it was like raining you know how popcorn ceiling, you get little sprinklings of it coming down periodically? That's what it was like, and I do not have popcorn ceilings. So, and I could see it. It covered everything to my left and then covered me. And the people on the video call that I was on, all of them psychics, all of them saw it. They were like, "Oh my God, Nikki!" That was really cool. So a number of people saw it. Well, not that many, but a few people saw it and found out that it was for protection of dealing with 2 different situations. Both 2 different pieces of land that I was going to be on. And one of them was in a cemetery on the Washington Peninsula. And I just lost where the other one was. Hello, brain fart. Sorry. I got so focused on the cemetery, I totally, oh my God, that doesn't happen very often. Anyway, so, well, being up for 24 hours, that might have something to do with it. So anyway, the cemetery, I walked into, I went to touch this tree, and I was literally covered head to toe. They were fluttering all around me. This was, September, I think? Late September, early October, somewhere around there. And I was covered head to toe. My arms, I had short sleeve shirt on, and the tips of my fingers. Oh yeah, no kidding, not right now. You see how red my face is? No. But they were on the tips of my fingers. They were crawling underneath my arms, on top of my arms. They were fluttering around me, and they were protecting the cemetery. For a very good reason. But they were the fairies I love dearly. I've only ever seen one fairy portal, and that was on San Juan Island in January of this year. And they allowed me to see it only for a brief fraction of a second, and I I'm in the car in the passenger seat, and I'm screaming. There's 4 of us in the car. They're like, "What are you screaming about?" And I was so excited because I got to see a fairy portal, but it was a large Fey portal. But I could see for a brief glimpse of a second fairies and all different kinds of Fey on the other side, and it was gone. It was there 1 second, and it was gone. And I was like, "Wow, that is incredible!" I was so excited. But they're my favorite. What's that, Eric?
Do you remember which island it was on?
I can barely hear him.
I can't hear him at all.
Do you remember which island it was on?
Oh yeah, same island as Friday Harbor, San Juan Island.
San Juan.
Yeah, San Juan Island. It was it was in a park. It was in a very specific park. I want to call it Washington Park, but that's not it. Anyway, I could probably look it up again. But I've got it all written down. But that was so cool. It was just, it blew my mind. And the Fae, I found out that the Fae work with the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for a day or two.
Oh yeah, I found out just how it and I blew my mind.
So that would go to the interdimensional.
Yes. Very much interdimensional. They were fantastic with me. I loved it.
I think there's a real hiccup here.
But,
well, the problem here I keep running into, people keep telling me these things are interdimensional. Now, I will grant you they move at a different vibratory rate, and it may be just a terminology problem. But third-dimensional creatures cannot survive in a fourth-dimensional environment or vice versa.
Well, on a quantum level, we're all interdimensional beings.
Not exactly.
Vibrate at.
Try that again.
Can you, Keith, can you explain the portals then? Because when I see a portal, which doesn't happen very often, it's very rare, but I have seen a couple, and I've been through 7 wormholes in Astral, which just blew my mind. That I still can't even conceive that, but it happened. What happens when, because to me, that's interdimensional. That's a form of interdimensionalism. So can you explain, because you are more the science guy than, oh my God, the mind on you, it just boggles mine. So can you explain how that interdimensionality works?
Did you ever watch or read the show, or read the book, A Wrinkle in Time?
Oh God, years ago, yeah. I mean,
picture, if you will. This is the easiest way to explain it. You've got 2 locations. Okay. When you have a wormhole, not a black hole, they're 2 very different things.
Yes, they are.
Okay. When you have a wormhole, what you're doing is you're not moving anywhere. You literally fold space. Okay. You step from one side of it to the other. That's the wormhole. Then when you step out, it folds back to where it belongs. So is it going to seem like interdimensional travel? Yes. Except for the fact it's not. What you're doing is, because space itself is somewhat mutable. Okay, and if you're vibrating fast enough, you can travel between solid locations. This is what they found out with the Philadelphia experiment.
That actually makes more sense to me now. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. You're welcome. But, I've often wondered if I'm having a problem with it because of simply the issue if you move something fast enough, you can pass 2 solid objects through each other. Because solid objects aren't, in fact, solid.
Exactly. No, they're not. They're constantly moving.
Okay.
They're constantly in a frequency.
Everything you see that exists in this world, everything, whether you're seeing a glimpse of it seems to fade in and out, everything in existence is third dimensional. Are there other dimensions? Yes. But you have to get to be a much more evolved individual much more together with yourself to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I got pulled through what first I called it a portal, or the 7 portals, and then I made the realization and got told that it was a wormhole, or they were wormholes. I just remember going through tunnels, going from one location in space to another location until we were.
And that would be the function of a wormhole. I mean, you really want to try a fun run. Well, yeah, wormholes are kind of like a bobsled run.
Yeah. Well, oh my God! Yes.
While you're on acid.
Essentially a Stargate.
I had excessive mucus
Very
in
much.
my ears,
They do a good job of a Stargate.
Yeah.
Yes. So I spun. I mean, I was just like this. I was on a spinning wheel going through, speeding through light.
In all fairness, you weren't. Don't get me wrong. That's what it looked like.
No. I get it. But that's what it felt like to this physical body. I had to calm.
You're on. Like you're on this board, and as it goes down, it does this.
That explains what I was feeling. Thank you.
You're welcome. Like I said, it's kind of like an interstellar bobsled ride.
Yes.
Right.
I always wanted to do that. Now I guess I could say I did.
Okay, let's speak again.
Hi.
Do it again.
Hi.
But yeah, Fey are my this race, this species of Fey. I love them to pieces. They have been just absolutely wonderful, truly wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Little
guys
wings,
think?
male, female, they were wonderful. I just can't say enough about them. Just awesome.
Do you see Jack Frost as part of the thing?
Well,
Still can't hear.
Okay, guys, I need you two got to share a mic for now. So
Here,
I need
take
someone.
my mic.
Okay.
I ain't sharing my mic with no one.
Deep voice.
Might as well ask me to share my toothbrush.
Toothbrush.
What were you going to say, Eric?
I think they call that a shiv.
Alright, so Jack Frost. Do you think Jack Frost is a part of the family? Part of
Not hearing you.
Poland?
I'm
You gotta be
go down
louder,
the street
bro.
and Kickstart his house.
Say again?
This commercial break has been brought to you by people with microphones that don't work.
Eric is going to have to go down the street and kickstart your house, because apparently that must be the problem. So
did everyone get a chance to answer that question?
That's what I was saying.
I don't think I answered, and I was going to go with the nymphs only because
Can you guys hear this?
they follow it.
Yes.
That one I could.
Yeah.
I can honestly say the only reason I didn't answer it is I don't have one.
I didn't answer the question yet,
Can
and
you guys
it
hear
actually
this?
runs into my first question. Yes, which is your favorite Fey? And I think I heard a debate on here years ago that whether Bigfoot were Fey or not. If they are, Bigfoot's my favorite Fey because I've had interactions with them, and I haven't. Honestly, if I've seen them, I haven't noticed pixies or fairies or nymphs or wood trolls or gnomes or any of that. So I'd have to go with Bigfoot.
I like the brownies.
Yeah, but you like the Green King's brownies.
You know me so well.
I was thrown out of the Boy Scouts for eating brownies.
So I have a question about fairy rings. So there are, countless stories all across the world, all across time, of people who have stepped into fairy rings. And then when they stepped into the fairy rings, they're transported into another world, only to come back days or even years later. So my question is, why do you guys think that there is such a huge time discrepancy from when people return from their travels in fairy rings or other Fae portals?
There's a huge time discrepancy anytime you travel to another dimension or dimensional portal. It depends on how far away it is and what the time discrepancy is. It'd be the difference between traveling between here and like Saskatchewan, that's 2 hours ahead and back again, except if you're traveling through dimensions, it could be up to 5, 10, 15, 20 years depending on where it is.
Yeah, I love it.
That's actually something Keith taught me when I asked him about a specific race of ET, and he said, Nikki, you got to realize, can't remember how you exactly, I don't remember the precise wording, but it was something along the lines of you have to remember, oh shit, I had it. They're thousands of years older than we are, and the time difference with them, you didn't use the word astronomical, but it was yes, the
You're
age,
referring
well, the
to
age,
Laborians
also
and their
the
age.
yes, but it was also, you talked about time in that conversation, and that's why I remember it, because it boggled my mind when I was like, oh my god, the time difference.
Well, something
it
you
wasn't
have to
just
realize
age, it
where
was
it comes
time.
to time. What most people don't realize is time is mutable. And when you're dealing with certain of the ancient magics, okay, which the fairy are absolutely adaptable to. When you're dealing with temporal magic, you can modify time that can really screw up your perception. But it's not a question of going to a different dimension. It's just they simply lock you out of a time loop into a time loop.
Think about Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. That's what's
right.
Yeah, very true. That's a great movie.
I know. I love that movie.
Highly recommended.
It's awesome. Basically because I like seeing Samuel L. Jackson with white eyes. But hey.
Yeah. That was creepy as heck.
Yeah, that was a creepy movie, but I do have to say it was a really good one for older kids, young teenagers, and us adults.
It was well done.
Really got into the time.
So well done. Yeah, definitely was super creepy.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Keith?
Well, you got to remember, fairy rings themselves are a defensive superstructure.
Yeah.
They're a defensive mechanism designed to keep humans and, if you will, the more aggressive non-Fey out of the equation. So when you get too close, you run into a fairy ring, and the problem's over. And of course, you also have to remember it's very easy to work inside those to create, well, the human term would be to create an illusion.
It's going to rip you apart molecule by molecule and shove you into a different space and time, and it's going to suck. And by the time you actually get back, it's going to be 30 years later and you don't know who your kids are, basically.
It can work that way. It doesn't have to, but I have seen it done that way.
Yeah.
Can you explain what a fairy ring looks like to those who don't know?
From a human standpoint, it's going to look like a ring of mushrooms usually.
Usually, yeah.
Shroomies.
Well, a ring of mushrooms?
No, wrong type of mushrooms. But it would not surprise me to find one of the biggest things you'll find with real fairy rings is you'll find some of the mushrooms actually move. It's not a question of they look like they're moving; they literally do.
Right.
See, the fairy are actually quite happily involved with the Spirit Knocked In. Spirit Knocked In are little mushroom people.
What did you call them?
They do not appreciate being smoked.
What did you call the mushroom
people? Sound delicious.
Soylent Green.
No, those are human.
Around people. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? Are you guys hearing any of this right now?
No.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I hear you.
It's a little fuzzy.
There you are.
Brand, can't figure out what the hell's going on. I got this one to work now, but you gotta be right up next to it. Yeah.
You think it's a storm or?
No, it's my equipment. No,
it's the equipment. We need new ones.
The other night.
Equipment failure.
Yeah,
All right. So, what do you guys think of Jack Frost being part of the Fey world?
Somebody had brought up Pukwudgie in the chat this afternoon, and I was like, "Woo! Somebody's going to talk about the Pukwudgie."
And get my Pukwudgie on.
Yeah, that was super interesting. Yeah, it was. I was watching this thing about Fey and Faeries after finding out that the show was going to be about that today, and kind of getting into that energy. And it was all of a sudden talking about Pukwudgies and all of the different energies that they. And then I had never even heard of them before last week, and now they're coming up again. And then it was like right when you guys were messaging through the chat, so it was hilarious.
Years ago, I heard something about the Pukwudgies being in the Bridgewater Triangle, I think it was, somewhere back in Massachusetts or Connecticut, and there's a huge swampy area there that if people go near it, they'll either run into these things or they'll just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
You're better off if you don't just disappear.
yeah.
I'd rather just disappear. Fuck it.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. You got me?
I want to be able to see my kid and my hybrid children and my grandkids that are supposed to be coming. And oh yeah, no way.
I think we can all agree with that. There's nobody wants to disappear, whether it's a Pukwudgie or a Bigfoot or an alien or some human.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Unless they enjoyed where they were at better and they decided not to come home. Or they ate the food there. That's another interesting thing is like when you go into a fairy portal, it's advised not to eat the food or you may not come home. What do you think about that?
Van Winkle drank with them. Same thing.
Yeah, well, we saw how that turned out.
For you in their timeline?
Well,
yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole messing with the timeline thing.
Try that again.
Haven't you eaten with the ETs before?
Many times.
Or you've seen them? That's what I thought. I remember you talking about that on Dave's show, so I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, you can definitely eat with them, but you got to know what you're eating.
Yeah, you don't want an allergic reaction, let alone.
Did they provide a menu?
Keith has a people allergy.
Menu.
Try that again.
Oh, I asked if did they provide a menu?
Oh, did they provide a menu?
Well,
I'm still missing. I'm only getting part of the question. I'm sure of it.
He's asking, do they provide a menu?
Not usually, but that being said, I've been around them for a long time. Yeah, I mean, realistically, if you go into a restaurant often enough, the people that are serving usually know what you like.
Well, that's good. I didn't know if they whatever the local cuisine is on interstellar. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm actually being honest. I just didn't know if they would. Do they give you something that you can like? Okay, well, here are your
Well, there are
options.
certain things they will not. They will not try and get you to eat. Like I've got a very strict policy. If it's moving, I'm not eating it.
Real good. Very
Good policy.
Of course, as I was told one day, that leaves a lot of room for interpretation.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, I've got an advantage over a lot of people. I don't have taste buds to speak of.
Oh, I'm one of those people that has an extreme sense of smell and taste. And it's like, no. Which is one of the reasons why certain areas of the ships are just way
Well, certainly
beyond.
the areas of the ships you're not supposed to go in anyway.
No kidding. Oh, man. Some of those birthing rooms, some of those...
Well, when you think of it, some of the birthing processes are a little bit rough.
Yeah, but I have...
Wow.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've got some interesting memories that I have blocked, and yet I know that I've blocked them because I can't handle the sounds, and I can't handle the smells. And I'm like, I'm fine with that. But there are lots of other memories that I would like. Like, have I ever been around ETs that eat? That fascinates me.
So do you actually have trees that doesn't have you at all? Besides the ones that scattered you with picking up?
I did not hear you.
I know.
Cole sounds like he's talking through a pillow at the bottom of a well.
Well, first of all, that's not me.
Hey, there it is.
Well,
Who was that?
That was Eric.
Oh, Eric. I can't hear him at all.
No.
If we're at that point, guys, we might have to end the show because I can't do this. I'm flipping the fuck out right now. Friend.
Yeah, I understand how that works.
Try again.
Yeah.
Because I've got my
as close to the mic as you
headphones on,
fucking
and I've got
can.
everything turned up as loud as possible.
Try again.
So, you hear all these different theories about aliens being fairy being alien. My personal opinion, the Fey are their own race.
Your personal opinion is what?
It's like listening to a ghost box.
Or the Swedish chef. Or the Swedish chef.
I don't know what the fuck's going on because he's showing up on here perfectly.
Oh.
So,
The Fey.
What about?
well,
I think the Fey are messing with you, man.
Yeah.
no, fuck them. Yeah. All right, guys. It's been a good 45 minutes. I'm sorry. We got to cut it because I can't do this. I have to do some shit and figure out what the fuck's going on. Fern, all right. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, have a great one, guys.
You too.
Take
Everybody
care.
have a good night.
Everyone.